making a smoothie at 4 a.m. with some guy that I'm not even committed to, like he not even all that, like no ma'am, I'm sorry babes, it's not for me, it's not for me, it's a no for me. And if that's how you guys find power, I support you, but it's not for me. And see, that's what I mean of like everyone's completely different, like everyone lives differently, and what it comes down to is whether that person views it as valid or not. Hello everybody, it is me, Salem Tovar. Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? I am doing really good. I am so excited. I literally have so much to tell you guys. It's literally not even funny. First of all, my hair is black now. The blue hair, it was an era that was short-lived, literally like a month. It just was like not the vibe. I did it at a time of my life where I did not have it together. Okay, that, and because I refused to be the blue-haired hoe at the family Thanksgiving dinner, knowing damn well that my cousin already said that I had greñas of a bruja. How was your guys' holiday break? I had literally so much fun. What are you guys thankful for? I'm thankful to be back, as always. Like I said, I have been very consistent with the bi-weekly uploads because girl, I have consequences now because I'm contractually obligated to, and if I don't, then the contract goes bye-bye. So now I actually have motivation to do it. Some of you who are watching and not listening to me while doing laundry, anyways, you probably have been noticing this black puff ball. And no, it's not my hair. That's really burnt now because I've done way too much stuff to it this year. Or the fur on my jacket, which isn't real fur, just had to clarify because I know how y'all get. But I actually got a new dog. Say hi to Roxy. She's so tiny, oh my god, and she is such a sweetheart, and she matches with my hair. I wanted my hair to match with my new dog. I know, I'm so extra. She has literally improved my mental health by 1,000,000%. My favorite thing about her is that she has these little angry eyebrows. There you go. You have no idea how much you saved my life. No, seriously, I was this close to losing it and deleting my entire YouTube channel and then deleting my existence, but
you have made it so much better. It gave me stability.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go to sleep now. You're super sleepy. And I swear to God, if some of you guys say some bull crap in the comments about my child, I am gonna go ballistic. Every time I try to be happy on my channel or on the internet responds with, how can I ruin this for her? Let me breathe. Let me sell. Can I be happy in peace? Thank you. Anyways, kind of went off on a tangent there, but I just wanted to give you guys a life update and just how happy I am to finally have a dog. I have just been at home potty training her, teaching her how to fetch, playing with her, taking her outside, socializing her, literally just doing everything. And thankfully I have the ability to do that with a stay-at-home job. And you know who else stays at home all day? Stay-at-home girlfriends on TikTok. Guys, I tried with the transition. I couldn't think of a good transition, so that's what you're gonna get, and that's what you're gonna like. So this is a topic that was trending around October, but I noticed that it's barely now kind of been in the commentary atmosphere, which is so crazy because I really do feel like commentators really do share like one collective brain, because I swear to you guys, I was like, I'm gonna make a video about the stay-at-home girlfriend thing because it just showed up on my feed, and I was like and I want to be the first one, and like 5 other people have already made videos on it that I guarantee are probably better, that have like facts and stuff. But you guys know that here on my channel we don't do that. I complain, and I love doing that, and I love you guys for enabling me. That's how I know you guys truly love me. So it recently has been circulating around the internet. I know that there has been many articles written about this phenomenon of just this new trend of women, you know, young women, very young women, whose entire content is being a stay-at-home girlfriend and just romanticizing this life of living in just this world where your partner provides for everything. And it isn't anything new. I don't necessarily think that this is a trend, but I think this is the first time that we have seen content creators in this field become more popular. And you guys already know I have lots to say about this. So many people are saying so many different things. There are people saying that this lifestyle is problematic and dangerous because they're promoting a lifestyle of codependency to young women. I've seen people talk about how this lifestyle, people who are mainly, Western focused and Eurocentrically focused, but wouldn't understand this type of lifestyle because it's not ingrained or praised in their culture. There is basically, I want to say like 4 main points that people are bringing up when talking about these types of videos. 1, this is promoting sexism because it's a sexist way to live because you are catering to a man. The second is that this is a privileged way to live because the women in these videos are being rewarded for doing nothing. Third is that this is an extremely unfulfilling lifestyle as a human and for young women. Fourth is this is a dangerous way of living as it promotes unhealthy codependency for younger women, like I mentioned earlier in the video. So when I mention these points, I want you to know that there are some that I personally agree with, that there are some that I personally don't agree with, but each point I'm going to dissect and talk about them throughout this video, okay? You guys are allowed to openly disagree in a respectful, cute, kind manner, but what I'm not gonna have on my platform is people telling me what to do, what not to say, and what to say, okay? I just feel like I needed to get that out, because this is one of those topics where people are going to feel tense around. I just know it. I want my channel to be fun and to be educational, but girl, I don't have time for people to comment on every little thing that I did wrong or people putting words in my mouth. I really do expect you guys to be on good behavior, okay? I love you guys. I love you guys so much, but Lord have mercy. Y'all got me over here praying to the Lord on high on my knees for patience, for real. All right, let's get into it.
Part 1. What is a stay-at-home girlfriend?
So let's start off this video talking about what even is, what even? Just what even? Let's ask the question, what even? What even is the video? What even is TikTok? What even is science? You guys know I love to start with the W, so let's start about the origin of the whole stay-at-home girlfriend thing. In August 2022, a new trend on TikTok about being a stay-at-home girlfriend went viral. The term stay-at-home girlfriend means exactly what it sounds like. It refers to women who live with their partner and provide household needs while being supported financially by their partner. Kendall K, the creator of the original video that sparked a lot of conversation around the topic of being a stay-at-home girlfriend, shared her morning routine as a stay-at-home girlfriend while her millionaire boyfriend Luke Lintz operates his PR company, per International Business Times. Kendall's video blew up and many others started hopping on the stay-at-home girlfriend routine trend, sharing their own rituals to the point where now the whole stay-at-home girlfriend hashtag, I believe, has over 133.3 million views on TikTok, which is pretty insane. Like, this in itself is its own beast, its own category. Clearly there are these young women who, these types of videos and going viral and people are watching these things. Within Kendall's video, it shows her filling up water bottles, making coffee for her boyfriend, cleaning the house, taking a stroll around the beach, and so much more fun. And because of these videos going viral, the original creator, right, Kendall, her video sparked a lot of controversy in the comment section of people talking about how she's a privileged brat and that she probably does nothing to deserve it. People saying, okay, and what are you gonna do when he leaves you? Other people saying, work sis, we're all for you being provided for, so glad that you're happy. Other people, saying that she is hashtag goals. So there's a soup being made. You put in the broth, chicken broth. You put in the carrots, you put in the celery. You you put in the rosemary, right? You put in the good comments, and you put in the bad comments, and you put in all these other, everyone's putting in their own ingredients, right? And then we're creating a soup. We are soup. And as I taste this soup, I realize, is it for me? You know, everyone's having a sip of this soup. People are sipping. It's not for me. Oh. It's for me. And then there's some people who are like, bitter. You know what I mean? So everyone is basically saying this soup is shit. And then there's other people saying like, oh, this soup is really good. Like, girlfriend, like, let me get the recipe. Like, let me make this myself. And it has sparked a lot of, conversation outside of TikTok, which is always insane to me when I get reminded of just the power TikTok holds and how it can launch people's careers into stardom. And there's some TikTokers who have made parody videos of the stay-at-home girlfriend videos. There was a TikTok that went just as viral as the stay-at-home girlfriend video. It got 1.1 million likes, and it was created by a user named G McGwee. She used some, dark humor and some comedic commentary around the conversation surrounding the whole stay-at-home girlfriend thing. Basically, saying that they appeared to be controlled and trapped by their boyfriends. Even in one scene in her parody TikTok saying that her boyfriend leaves her a white pill every morning to take. And that is a criticism that a lot of these stay-at-home girlfriend content creators are, facing. And people go as far as to, in the original video, again, by Kendall, people screenshotted Kendall's journey entry. There was a video by 1,000 milligrams ibuprofen. That's what I need after uploading a damn video, because each time I get a trauma response, I swear. I decided to screenshot Kendall's planner because I was so curious as to what she could possibly be planning for. And looking closer into the journal entry, Kendall had wrote, unsatisfied with my looks, stagnation in my career, satisfaction and fulfillment, and lack of fun social life and excitement. And in the comment section, there was a lot of people saying it's a little cry for help. I was a stay-at-home girlfriend at 23, and honestly, I've never felt more isolated. You lose yourself. There was, also other people who were saying that the video was fake and that it was meant to be commentary on like this new lifestyle that people are romanticizing. I don't know about all of that. Watching the video, I can see how people view it as fake, but fake or not, this is a true, real, very much real lifestyle that people are romanticizing on TikTok. Whether this particular video is real or fake, I personally don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Either way, it's very much real that people are living this type of lifestyle. These videos have a very specific formula. It is always a young woman in her 20s with a perfect white home with perfect lighting, and she makes smoothies, she wakes up early, she puts on her matching Skims set and sets off to do daily groceries and house cleaning for her boyfriend, who is basically the main provider financially in the relationship. But the main criticisms of this type of content isn't the fact that it's aesthetic looking, or that they're making juice, or their routine, or the fact that they're these young women who have a different lifestyle than most. It's the fact that, one, people view it as a sexist way to live, and that these women are not feminists.
Part 2. Dissecting the first argument. Are these women against feminism?
But before I talk about my opinion, I want to talk about why maybe some people may see this lifestyle and this type of content as promoting sexism. Because in a lot of these videos, it is a woman who stays home and provides for a man, provides the cooking and the cleaning, and how that reinforces traditional gender roles and traditional marriage roles. And it reinforces the stereotypical role for a woman in a heterosexual relationship. And this conversation is really interesting to me because it really has changed, because the conversation around it with young women nowadays is very different than if this were to have been a thing, let's say in 2012 when BuzzFeed was around. This would have been a completely different approach than it is now. I think feminism looks different in every single woman. What empowers you is not going to be the same thing that, what I consider empowerment. Some women view empowerment as owning their sexuality and being a lot more, out there. Some women find their power in working jobs, being a businesswoman. Some women find their power and fulfillment in being a mom and staying home. Some women find their power, absolutely dominating on social media. And then there's some women who find their power throwing away their phone and moving to Tibet, meditating on a mountain for years. Like, everyone is so different. I tend to criticize Gen Z a lot when it comes to hypocrisy, because let's be honest, we are a very hypocritical generation. But when it comes to being a lot more open-minded in things that used to be so extreme, I can say that Gen Z has done a very good job at that, because I don't think that the concept of women are empowered differently back in the BuzzFeed days would have passed. It would not have passed, let's just be honest. Feminism got a really bad rap for a really long time because of BuzzFeed feminism, where it was basically you have to agree with them and what they consider empowering or else you're wrong, which is so unfair, because the whole point of feminism is for women to find their own power in whatever they find empowering, right? I know there are a lot of people who are also defending stay-at-home girlfriend, content, saying that a lot of these women, it's not that they necessarily don't do anything and they're rewarded for not doing anything, right? A lot of them have stay-at-home jobs where they can provide a life for themselves and for, their partners to stay at home, to clean, to do the cleaning, and do all this domestic work, right?
One of the biggest criticisms and comments that are literally underneath these types of TikToks of, the stay-at-home girlfriend, the number one comment that I see is, but what do you do? Do you not contribute to anything? It seems that you live a lazy life. So basically you do nothing all day, which in my opinion translates to you don't deserve this type of lifestyle because you haven't worked for it. But to me, that's incredibly ignorant, because there is value in what's considered traditional domestic work, especially in a consensual relationship where both partners view it as valuable. And I will say the argument of, I would actually say criticism of these women not doing anything, there's the number one comment I see in these videos, that these women don't do anything, is, in my opinion, a perfect example of people practicing their subconscious internalized misogyny and internalized sexism against women by assuming that these women are not capable to live and make money for themselves and do not have side jobs that they're not explicitly sharing with the internet. And the reason why I bring that up is because many of these women, although they do not outwardly and explicitly say in their videos that they have privileged glam jobs, which is, being a content creator, being an influencer, having their own businesses, or regular jobs that they aren't showing but are stay-at-home jobs. A lot of these creators have come out and said that, hey, I actually do have a business that I run on the side, or I do make money on the side. And I just think it's incredibly ironic to be calling these people sexist when the criticisms have a heavy tone of sexism to themselves. However, this kind of leads me to what I think is the real problem behind this. I don't think that the lifestyle itself is sexist, and I don't think it contributes to stereotypes. If anything, I think it starts a very interesting conversation around the subject of what people view as a valid lifestyle, a fulfilling lifestyle, and what people considered a valid form of work, and also what is considered privileged and what is considered an easygoing life outside of the traditional 9-to-5 jobs that we see.
The stay-at-home girlfriend lifestyle consists of a lot of glamour, relaxation, and luxury, and that's why I don't necessarily think it's a sexism problem. I think it is a money problem. I do believe that it is a privilege problem. However, where I can see people can see it as a, sexist problem is the fact that who is providing that glamorous and luxurious lifestyle? The boyfriend. And many people are criticizing, girls like Kay who decide to be a stay-at-home girlfriend because her lifestyle was entirely funded by her boyfriend and her lifestyle could not exist outside of her boyfriend, which I personally think is a very harmful thing to say, because a lot of these young women in the stay-at-home girlfriend content realm actually do have their own jobs and make their own money. They just have what is considered glamour jobs and what is considered not real jobs, right? And I think I might make a video about this maybe later. I want to talk about glamour work versus what's considered real work, and I think that this can really be applied to what we're seeing with the whole universe. At this point it's a damn multiverse, because there's so many girls who are stay-at-home girlfriends but never thought like, hey, I can make content out of it. And that in itself is a stay-at-home glamour job. So they are literally being paid to be stay-at-home girlfriends by you guys watching their content. And for those of you who don't understand how that works, thankfully you have your friendly neighborhood influencer here, even though I hate that word. Basically, the way Kay makes her money is, yes, her side business, but she also makes money off of TikTok and Instagram and brand deals within these Get Ready With Me videos. It would be under the same umbrella of how the Kardashians work, where it's not traditional work, it's not considered real work, it's not under the umbrella of real work, right? But it's under the umbrella of posting a photo, posing for a picture, and then nearby like a water bottle, and then you at the company in your caption and you were paid to do that. That is considered glamour work. So then that strikes up a whole nother conversation of, are these stay-at-home girlfriends making money for themselves, or are they making money yet still tied to their partner? It's a very confusing thing to dissect, because it's almost like it keeps lapsing in on itself continuously, where it's like, but she's making her own money, right? But technically it's still connected to her partner, but technically she's still making her own money. And then it's just kind of like, it's a continuous cycle that's very hard to dissect. And I think the argument eventually lands into the realm of, is it valid or not? Which is opinion based, it is not fact based. There's ideology and then there's fact. Fact is, many of these young women choose to live this type of life. Fact is that the majority of them make their own money outside of their partners. Can it promote stereotypes and how relationships should, traditionally be practiced? Yes, that is also a fact. But opinion is whether or not it is damaging, and whether or not it is something that is valid or not, which is not for us to say. What's valid or not is up to the women who are choosing to be empowered in a certain way. And that in itself is feminism, and it's not for our place to say whether it's valid or not. Do I know the hearts, the conditions of these young women's hearts? Absolutely not. I don't. I'm not there cleaning alongside with them at 3 a.m. for their boyfriend, which I would never do. This is just one of my opinions. I know a lot of people are gonna be mad at, but I'm not gonna do wifey things for you if you don't put a ring on it. And I'm sorry, that's just the truth. And that's why I have a ring. Look at that baby. I'm sorry, babes. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's a no for me. Making a smoothie at 4 a.m. with some guy that I'm not even committed to, like, he not even all that, like, no ma'am. No ma'am. If that's your guys' love language and if that's how you guys find power, I support you, but it's not for me. And see, that's what I mean of, like, everyone's completely different. Like, everyone lives differently, and what it comes down to is whether that person views it as valid or not. Whether these women see this life as unfulfilling is within their hearts. However, let's go back to fact and ideology. Fact is, this is a very privileged way of living, and that brings me to my second point.
Part 3, dissecting the second argument. This is a privileged lifestyle.
This is another criticism that I see a lot when it comes to the stay-at-home girlfriend, content stuff, which is, it's a very privileged life to have because, your main stressor, this is, again, what I've seen. People have said their main stressors are what are you gonna make for dinner? cleaning the house and you don't have kids and whatever, right? So you are being provided with this lifestyle where you can just make content all day and go to the gym and, you know, label your Amazon with seeds in them and stuff, which I would love for the only stress in my life to be whether papyrus font or Julius Sands 1 font looks better with my water bottles. However, we don't know whether these women are going through other life stuff or not. What they're sharing is their highlights. They are sharing highlights. You cannot believe everything you see on the internet. They share, you know, little moments out of the day. Out of 24 hours, right? They are showing you probably 6 hours of their day. You can't base a properly informed opinion off of something that is fabricated. Because right now, what me and you are discussing, right, what the internet is discussing, is what we see. And what I see is a very, very privileged life. And like I said earlier in this video, I really do think that the dangers that come with the romanticizing, it's a money problem. So many people duetted Kay's original video and talked about how there are financial dangers relying on a partner's income if you're not married, which yes, that is true. That is scientifically true and statistically true. Even a divorce lawyer weighed in saying that the lifestyle makes women vulnerable as they would have no job experience or career if they were to break up with their partner, which yes, is also true. You know, when Kay was being interviewed, she literally told Insider that her and her partner both maintain financial independence. And of course, she has been open to the, you know, dark option that the universe bestows on every relationship, that it can end. She said that her business is her safety net and that every woman should have her own money aside from their partner because it is very risky to just give up your whole life to the financial power of somebody else. I very much agree. And this is why I said that I feel like it's more of a money problem. But I feel like something that, you know, Kay might not realize is that monetizing this lifestyle and romanticizing this type of lifestyle in a way and can promote to younger women this sense of, oh, I don't need to do nothing then. My man will always take care of me. But what happens when that relationship fails? Well, that's one stream of income that is gone. Unless you monetize your breakup, I mean, get into it. Like, if you're gonna cry, you might as well make money off of it.
I think although these videos are well-intentioned, they can accidentally and indirectly affect young women and maybe deter them from getting their own education, from starting their own side business, because a lot of these creators don't outwardly say that they make money on the side, which I personally think that they should, just to honestly stop the amount of hate that they get in the comments saying that they don't do nothing and they don't deserve anything. The romanticization of this lifestyle is dangerous. Whole aesthetically pleasing thing and how luxurious it is dangerous because they make this lifestyle extremely enticing, even though it's just not for everyone, and it's also not realistic for everyone, which is fine. You know, that's their life, that's their reality. There are things that are happening in their lives that are, you know, outside of the whole aesthetic stay-at-home girlfriend stuff, right? And they're allowed to keep everything private. Obviously, I'm not saying that they should, you know, be real, show us the real stuff that you go through. But what I am saying is making content off of this luxurious life can be incredibly misleading.
And you know, this point kind of ties into the third point, which is this is a dangerous way of living as it promotes unhealthy codependency for young women.
Part 4. Dissecting codependency and fulfillment. One of the main criticisms that I've seen time and time again is that this stay-at-home girlfriend seems like a very unfulfilling, boring lifestyle. But something that I want to say about this is, just as I was making the argument earlier of, you know, feminism, of what you may find empowering will not be empowering for someone else. It's the same thing with fulfillment. You see, what fulfills me is being able to have Roxy and love her and train her and take care of her, while another person hates dogs and would prefer a cat, and they love cats and that's how they feel fulfilled. Everyone's incredibly different. And it always leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth whenever I see someone expressing how happy or fulfilled or how peaceful their life is, and people completely hating on it and being bitter because they know damn well that, let's all just be honest, the lifestyle that a lot of these women have are lifestyles that many of us wish to have, which is someone to provide a stress-free financial situation so that we can do whatever the hell we want. Like, hello, like, that's the dream. But if that's not what you want, then that's fine. But I mean, you don't have to go out of your way to make people who do feel like that type of lifestyle is fulfilling and that is their dream to feel stupid or ashamed or that it's wrong. I think it's okay to start a conversation about, the downsides and the cons to this type of lifestyle, but I think it's never okay to create a false narrative surrounding someone's life that you are not a part of. So when talking about the argument of whether this lifestyle is fulfilling or not, something I said earlier in the video is that there's a difference between fact and ideology, fact versus opinion. And the argument of whether it's fulfilling or not is definitely underneath the umbrella of opinion and not fact. It is up to the women who decide to have this type of lifestyle, whether it's fulfilling to them or not. And people who do not have this lifestyle can also weigh in on their own opinion, but ultimately it's their feelings to feel. However, I will also mention that something that also ties heavily into the criticism of a fulfilling life is almost this infantilization of these women who choose this type of lifestyle, that they are brainwashed, that they're incapable of knowing what can possibly be fulfilling to them. And I think that this is kind of like a minefield to navigate. Because if you are in a dangerous situation, in a dangerous relationship, I can very much see that, because very often when you are in a toxic relationship, it can really warp your mind. However, I think there is a massive difference between this happening and, these stay-at-home girlfriend content creators who are consensually choosing to have this type of lifestyle and feeling very much fulfilled. There is a massive difference between someone who is being financially awarded and someone who doesn't mind being more financially dependent on one partner's income who makes the most money. Although a lot of people see this type of lifestyle as unhealthy codependency, and it very well can be in certain cases, I believe two things can be true at once. I also believe that in a lot of other cases, it can also be the opposite, and it just so happens that this works for a lot of people in their relationships and in many cultures.
When you are raised here, in the West, in the Eurocentric atmosphere, individualism is considered everything. You need to be individualistic. That is the only way that you can succeed in life. That is the proper way. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I will say it becomes a problem when Americans and people who have completely different cultures start telling people who are not part of that culture that what they're doing is wrong because they're not highly independent. And let me just bring this up, okay? Before some of y'all get triggered. What I mean by that is that there are plenty of cultures where you see this whole stay-at-home girlfriend thing. This is normal. This is normal, and it's actually a beautiful thing, and it's a healthy thing in their culture. And men there are raised to be able to provide for a woman in all sorts of facets. Something that I've noticed is that a lot of American men tend to be highly individualistic. American women, it's considered mooching to be taken care of by your man. It's considered, pitiful or shameful. But in a lot of, POC cultures, it's not considered a bad thing. It's more so the West views a lot of women of color who partake in these traditional structures of relationships as brainwashed, when in reality a lot of it is just normal and healthy. It's just different. Just because it's different doesn't mean that it's wrong. I will say, however, as someone who is Hispanic, obviously there's a problem with machismo, right? Which is misogyny, where there's a line between your husband providing for you, loving you, treating you kind, absolutely loving being able to provide for you, loving the fact that you can stay home and relax while he works, and then using that financial status against you, not giving you any money, not allowing you to have any education out of fear of you leaving them, like it's such a huge slippery slope. It can be very dangerous, but it can also be very good. And this is why, you know, in my videos, I really do talk about how two things can be true at once. In this situation, two things can be true at once. You know, can it be something that can be monstrously misconstrued and used for evil? Absolutely. Is it something that can also be really good and work for certain couples and be amazing? Absolutely. Being dependent or collectivist isn't a bad thing in many cultures outside of, you know, America, because a lot of POC cultures are collectivist, which means that it is we over me, but in American culture it's me over we. An example is very much like, how can I serve the community before I serve myself? Because there's no point in me existing or having this luxury if someone else can't have it. And that's not me saying that you know, white Americans can't be loving, empathetic people. It has nothing to do with that. I think it's just more so that white Americans tend to be a lot more goal orientated and goal focused. The energy is very much, I'm an arrow, I'm just gonna shoot straight forward, don't really care who I hit along the way, because ultimately it's a goal for me, which I think, again, that is beneficial to certain people. To certain people it just does not work. You know, I'm just gonna use my life for an example. I don't really like talking about, especially my relationship stuff. You know, the only things that I want to let you guys know is like, oh, I'm married, or that's like the most I'm willing to share. But I will say, I am the main breadwinner. I'm just gonna say it. I make the most money in my relationship, and to some in my culture that's considered like blasphemy, because in my culture it's more normal to see men be the main provider financially than the woman. So it's so crazy to see just like these differences in cultures and how you're raised really morphs the way your biases are and the way you view things. It just goes to show that everyone's relationship decisions are different. You know, your mom's relationship is not going to look the same as yours. Your best friend's relationship is not going to look the same as yours. And whatever works for you, works for you. However, be conscious, be smart.
Conclusion. Why are we having a conversation again about people's personal life decisions? I hate the internet. You need to prioritize yourself, period. Married or not, dating or not, single or whatever, prioritize yourself and your happiness. Never forget that you're an individual outside of your relationship. Even if your dream is to have a life where everything is provided for you, still be cautious, be alert, and be smart. You know, I was talking about this the other day with a close friend of mine, of how ever since I was a kid, I was very just very feminine and girly and very wanting the princess lifestyle. I dreamed of just being a stay-at-home wife and a stay-at-home mom. I really enjoy getting my nails done, getting my lashes done, going to the gym, cooking. Like, that is just something that I've always loved. And it's so funny because I have that life now. However, the reason why I have that life is not only because my husband helps provide for our comfort, but also because I am the main breadwinner. And from afar, people assume that that's my type of life and that I contribute to nothing, when in reality, I have just a privileged job where I can stay at home and provide myself a lifestyle where I can get my nails done and eyelashes done and all that type of stuff. And what's crazy to me is when people see me, they mistake me for, you know, this sexist stereotype that I am just this spoiled princess brat who does nothing to deserve a pampered life, that my husband provides everything for me, when in reality I'm literally the main breadwinner, but whatever. And if these stay-at-home girlfriends are in a relationship where they're feeling loved and supported and spoiled, then honestly, good for them. That's awesome. And I actually don't think that you need to do anything to deserve that type of life. And to tell someone that they don't deserve to be spoiled or loved, taken care of, is honestly really nasty.
What I always found to be fulfilling is for someone to not provide the life for me financially, but to provide a safe space and to provide an atmosphere of love and comfort and strong unconditional love and unconditional support for me to have the time and the luxury to have the time to explore different hobbies, to explore my content, to better myself as a person. And whoever is or isn't financially dominant in my relationship, I know that I'm going to have that whether or not I am the main breadwinner or not, or whether or not my husband is the main breadwinner or not. You never know the full story behind people's relationships. And I think the only thing that's really dangerous about this stay-at-home girlfriend trend is romanticizing codependency and not being open and honest in the video about how, hey, I have my own job and I trust my partner or whatever. It's just the romanticization of the green smoothies and waking up at 4 a.m. The highlights of everything that they do for their boyfriend and not them as a person. I think that part can become a slippery slope and can even promote the wanting in young women to not bother educating themselves and just going straight into a relationship, which again, this is one of those things where it's like, who are we to claim whether a lifestyle is valid or not, what people do and what they consider what's best for them at the moment of time. And I really do believe if it's a tough lesson learned, at the end of the day, at least you learned it. At least you learned it. I feel like people need to experiment with life more often, even though it hurts, because you have learned that it's not for you. And obviously, again, I already know there's going to be people in the comments saying like, so you're saying that we should do Girl, did I say that? What I mean by that is I mean people need to go out and live life, because that is where you're going to find your passions, and that is when you're going to be reminded of stuff that you don't want, and it's going to make you more aware of what you want in your life and what you don't want in your life. And again, if you're someone who's watching this who is a stay-at-home girlfriend who is miserable and feels like they would love to make their own money, like do it. No, like just do it. And if you're in a situation that's clearly unhealthy, then obviously, you know, seek help, get out of the damn situation. But if you're someone who finds it incredibly fulfilling to serve someone else, to cook for them, to clean, to be able to have the luxury to focus on yourself, use that to your advantage. Start your own business, make friends, find a hobby that's super fun and fulfilling. Don't let that go to waste. I believe any life decision, even however safe it seems, or like, oh, this is definitely for me, it all comes with their risks. You never know. Like people, for example, people making the argument of like, well, if you're just dating them, like you never know what's gonna happen. If you guys break up, like what's gonna happen to you financially? Okay, like people who divorce can also lead to financial ruin, and nothing is certain in this life. Nothing lasts. Sometimes people need to fall in order to get back up, and I really do believe that's when, you know, us as humans have to come in and help them get up, help them get back up on their feet and find something new that works for them. Although for many people it's not something that again is financially viable or ideal, it doesn't necessarily mean that women who do choose this lifestyle are wrong or any less of a feminist or any less of a woman for choosing something different. And that also goes for women who don't want that lifestyle. Y'all are cool too. Like y'all are cool. Like everyone, bro, just do what the hell you want. Do what the hell you want, as long as you're not hurting people, as long as you're not a bad person, as long as you're bringing love and fulfillment to other people and to yourself. Literally, like, I don't see anything wrong in it. I just don't. But actually, like, live outside of social media. I think anyone who monetizes their life, it can be a very tricky thing. I do have a word of advice for the stay-at-home girlfriends. If this is something that's truly fulfilling to you and it is a choice and you are being loved and it is healthy, then you have my full support. Now, for the people who criticize these women, there is a difference between criticism and concern. There is a difference between being curious and then being judgmental. People can choose whatever lifestyle they want, but like I said, make sure it's not harmful. Always be cautious and prepared, no matter what it is, no matter how safe of a decision it is, okay? But also to the people who are watching this content, know that everything you see on social media isn't real. It's not real. And don't compare your life to these stay-at-home girlfriends. And don't compare or feel bitter or anything, because we'll never get the full picture. But a part of being a supportive, you know, human being and women supporting women is this. I just hope that they're being loved, that it is a healthy relationship, that they feel fulfilled, and that they're being taken care of. And if that's what it is, then that should be enough for all of us, even if it's a lifestyle that we don't agree on. And that, my friends, can be applied to any lifestyle. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and turn on bell notification so that you guys can like be notified whenever I upload a video, because I do it bi-weekly now. And yes, I've been consistent with the schedule, so turn on the damn bell. Comment down below what your guys' opinion is on the whole stay-at-home girlfriend trend. You guys know the drill. Keep it cute, keep it cordial. Do not act a damn fool in my comment section. I want this to be a safe space, conversation, and different opinions, not to freaking accuse me of absolutely everything, which is, anyways. Remember, difference between being kind, between criticism, and being a bitch. So let's not be on my platform. Remember to follow me on Instagram. Also, I wanted to say real quick, I didn't mention it in the beginning of this video, but I know a lot of you guys are waiting on my religion video. I have it filmed. However, I'm thinking of refilming it because I don't really like how it turned out. And I know some of you guys might be disappointed because I promised like 2 weeks ago it would be out on a Sunday, but I really feel more comfortable if I were to refilm it, because I just got a bunch of messages from people saying that they are really upset that they missed, you know, the Q&A stuff. So I'm probably gonna redo it again and insert it in the video. So but trust me, I'm still gonna do my deep talks and everything. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I love you guys literally so much. I am gonna eat because I'm literally starving, but you know the drill. Before I end this video, I'm gonna give you guys some homework, which is do something that you love today. Find something that is super fulfilling and makes you happy, and just go for it. And when you enter the real world, make sure to care for one another, love one another unconditionally, be kind to one another. I am gonna go take care of Roxy, eat, and then I'm gonna get ready because I have a D&D party tonight. So yeah, I'm a bard, by the way. No, not a barb. Well, I am a barb, but I'm also a bard in Dungeons and Dragons, and it's hella fun. And we've been having D&D nights and D&D parties, and I know it's hella fun. But anyways, that is basically it. So yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.